These students, please wait a bit for our guest speaker to come back. And during the meantime, if you have any questions, so you can type in the chat box.
Không chị, tại vì bên em nó không share được cái slide.
Jenna, we are happy to share the slide from our end.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just hold on. Yeah. You guys can see the slide right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go, chị.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry for a bit long of waiting up studying, but very excited to see all you guys to join the meeting today. So I introduced from Vietcetera team today is Thuy Minh, is Chief of Content Officer, and I is Thanh Nguyen, VP of Revenue. So I will go through a bit for you guys to understand about the landscapes in Vietnam and how Vietcetera is on that journey, and so that you can see the opportunity Vietcetera can open up, and maybe if you're interested in any department, then we can discuss on the Q&A session.
Hello, chị Thanh ơi. Can you please turn on your camera so our student can see your lovely place?
Wait, but it's not working.
Okay. Okay, so chị can use my computer
Yeah.
instead? Okay.
Okay, hi everyone.
Yeah, I can see your face now.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Hello, chị. Yeah.
Yeah. So can we move to next slide? Next slide, please.
On the screen.
In the slide, most used social platforms.
Do mỗi lần thử move.
No, that's the slide.
So, so Google now is the most social platform is that faces Vietnam is YouTube, Facebook, Zalo, and even TikTok is a rising platform. And then next.
No, it's the slide.
Yeah, next slide, please. So a bit introduction about Vietcetera. Vietcetera is founded in 2016 by Hãng Trần and Gitru, and we are a digital media network in Ho Chi Minh City. And by content is king, Vietcetera is as plays the role as a publisher and also a media agency as well. Next slide, please. And the latest news is we have Knock-based Media invest into Vietcetera as a funding for United Media startup. And with this in Asia is help us run even faster, like five times versus before. And in terms of profile, user profile of Vietcetera audience, we have like women and men. Women we have 54% and men is 46%. And the majority by based on the geography is Vietnam is 90%, and we also have 10% of international audience. And it's also province, and we more focus for the urban, like represent for cities in Vietnam, like Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, and Cần Thơ. They will like really like the content from Vietcetera because it share the point of view from very latest topic that Gen Z and millennial they are interested in. Next slide, please. For our platform is based on the distribution network. When we produce the content, we not just upload on the website of Vietcetera solely, but also we distribute across the platform. So you can see Vietcetera in content we distribute across. Like we have the web FAU is 1.1 million. And after we upload on the website, we also have mini or short version of content uploaded across, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as well. And in total, monthly audience network is up to more than 20 million per month. So we work with across with majority of all big FMCG and advertisers in Vietnam and brands in Vietnam. And beside the big FMCG under agency and private client, we also work with SME. SME is also the majority, like account for 80% in Vietnam. And SME they work across categories like FMCG, cosmetic, beverage, financial, consumer, electronics, and even government and public sector as well. So if you ask readers about their impressions about Vietcetera, they might mention name about our products like podcast series and it's a for the diversity of the content because we cover almost like the topic that Gen Z and millennial they are interested in. Like we talk about psychology, personal finance, career development, and wealth preparation for the young um, or first jobber. They want to seek further information to know more. Or we also mention about business and some show that more needed advice and tips for the students they just graduate from university or shorter, even need more experience that they can get a better progress in their work. And actually, we partner with a lot of like industry experts, not just about advertising, marketing, and art and design, but also the expert level talking about finance, personal finance, and also other subjects that Gen Z and millennial they are interested in. So you may put a question is after we produce the content and we have the products is how we monetize. And we have a content, we work with brands so that they can work with us through the sponsored content and branded content. Like we write an article and the brands we insert very native into the content and we bring the message and raise awareness for the brand. And even we can create the social challenge so that build engagement or brand bonding for the brands. Yeah. So next slide, please. And here is some content solution. Like you look into the chart, is helping brands reach Vietnamese millennial and Gen Z. And we have editorial, AV, and we have series of content. But majority is we will build on a digital tailor format like digital shows, short series, and
Hello, chị Thanh. Hello, chị Thanh. I could not hear you now. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
We have content for monthly feature, and we also have editorial series. We also produce a digital show, video podcast. For podcast is we have audio and also have video as well. And with the trends of audio podcast reasons in Vietnam is almost Vietcetera is on leading the market that we attract a lot of podcasters join and create the content. And we actually have conduct a contest for all the podcasters in Vietnam. They love to do a podcast, can join and enhance a academies. We train and kickstart a playground for podcasters in Vietnam. They can learn together. That called the contest is Cascade 2021. And we also attract the brand they join with us through 4 vertical based on the lifestyle, tech, and finance, and that is so successful. And next year we will gonna kickstart for international format. We extend for the international content that people in other country can join the contest and encourage the playground even more interesting with more diversified content. Yeah. Next slide, please. And here is some example of the article that Vietcetera has built on for the brands, like the brand is couple, and we make the title is the couple to match with the inside of the brands. And the way we do it in content is we create the innovative story and even the look and feel, the photo and shooting, also innovative idea to match and answer the brand story from brands. Next slide, please. And this is the demo and illustration of what we did for the couples. And as I shared before, is the podcast is the core products of Vietcetera, and we have did some successful content like Have a Sip is we have the top ranking on podcast, Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And we also have BitTap. BitTap is a free format that enable for young people, they can debate into particular topics. Currently, we have BitTap open for diversified content, like we have BitTap D, or we can call BitTap Travel, or BitTap Music, and BitTap Learn. And that is interesting format. I think that's matched with the university and student from university. They can join the contest or join the show. Place to share an idea, and so that audience they can learn from the research that before shooting the show, people participate into the show. They also research very carefully about that topic, and with the idea and point of view from the participant into the show, they can share different point of view and thinking that represent for Gen Z and Millennial as well. And cởi mở and Người Lạ ơi is also another format that the first time Vietcetera is leading in terms of creating the podcast, talking about sex education in Vietnam. And that's quite successful and help us deliver a value from the brands. Because you guys also know that for directs, sometimes it's when for advertising rules, sometimes we cannot like advertising so obviously. But through the content is we build that not like violate on the advertising rule, but we still bring the value to the reader or the listener, because we bring the story in terms of edutainment, and also they got some entertainment through the show. And definitely Vietnam Innovator, we have Vietnamese version and English version. For this short format, we bring the story from startup business story to introduce into Vietnam. And because the mission of Vietcetera is bring Vietnam to the world and the world to Vietnam, so Vietnam Innovator Story is really successful to have the C-level leaders and also the startup people. They want to listen and open eye with more and more interesting business model that start from a startup. And Homecoming is another programs that we tell story about like Vietnamese from other country going back to Vietnam and tell how they gonna work and reallocate into Vietnam for working as successful in their life. MAD and tóm lại là MAD is really matched with MIT student because we talk about like marketing, advertising, design, art, and we invite like specialists in the industry, not just only in Vietnam but also from other country, and they are Vietnamese with the success in this industry, and they share their story and experience and with the lesson learned. I think that's very interesting. And tóm lại là is also is a podcast and article as well, and share what is happened and latest news for Gen Z and millennial. So next slide, please. Yeah, so you can see that Vietcetera content is very innovative in terms of the way we build, that we focus on what haven't been before, and we create like first time in the market. It's the same like sex education podcast in Vietnam. It's also the innovation of Vietcetera. And the innovation is lies into like the topic we choose, the treatment, brand treatment into the content. Yeah. And into the show, we have like a new tailor-made show, like Tiền Đồng Tiền Đình is a personal finance giving advice for young people. Thang Tiến is a pitch elevator, like young people, they will submit their idea, and we will choose the best idea for chị Thái Linh. Thái Vân Linh is as a mentor for that business or entrepreneurship. And Người Lại Ơi is I just explained, like Người Lại Ơi and for sex education, and many other various forms of social experiment as well. And we're gonna launch some new formats, so stay tuned and watch out our next show for 2022. We're gonna launch like almost like up to 3 or 5 times versus 2021, and more opportunity of content for young people. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, here is some demo you may see later on our Vietcetera YouTube. Người Lạ Ơi, Thang Tiến, yeah, and some other video as well. Okay. Next slide, please. Yeah, here's Tiền Đồng Tiền Đình. It's guide you in terms of instead talking about personal finance is very hardcore, like different to explain, but we use a relay and the team to introduce a personal finance concept in an easy way and easy to observe. So next slide, please. Yeah, I think just moving on because this just demo the video, you can skip. Yeah. Cởi mở is also sex education, and next please. Okay, and Vietcetera also have event. We have a lot of event from conference, town hall, webinar, workshop, VIP dinner, exhibition, and also press conference, networking, ceremony, and award ceremony. So this is a open scope for anyone who interested in content. Yeah, this is a very good initiative that for you. Yeah, here's some illustration of the event we have conducted with C-level business and panel talk from AI and McKinsey. And next slide, please. Yeah, and like Vietnamese Food Beverage Conference, we leading talking about F&B and create event, and we create the award for the industry and celebrate the best award on F&B. So next slide, please. And we also conduct, it's a similar like podcast contest. We also have a writing contest to create a playground for young people. They love writing and they can join with us, and we can provide a sharing experience. Like you can see in the picture, Twin Minute Cheaper Content with Vietcetera. She can work with young people, young talent, and then we create the topic and people will join the contest. We choose encourage the writing skill set and encourage people to on the writing activity. And here's the success of a cat scam I just mentioned before for first podcast in Vietnam in 2021. Almost is all number is amazing and reached the successful. Next slide, please. And I pass over to Jane. She is HR of Vietcetera. We'll discuss you more about the opportunity at Vietcetera and also any Q&A.
Okay. Hello everyone, sorry for the technical issues this morning. So before we move to the salary experience and also the Q&A from you guys, gentlemen will share about that later. So I will point some of the characteristics and also the working environment at Vietcetera currently. So you can see that at Vietcetera we currently have 10 teams. They divide into the content, product and operation, and also we also have the sales and business development team. So you can see that the first thing is about the editorial, that they provide the branded and also the original content. The second is the audio visuals who produce the podcast and the show. And the third one is creative team who will conceptualize the idea and also the concept and script for the podcast and our shows. And the next thing is the international editorial team who mainly interested for the English content at the Vietcetera website. Besides for the product team, we have like the large team in the technologies from the product engineering and also the data team. So they will be in charge for the web and app development, and also they improve the user experience on our website. Next thing is like design. They will in charge the branding visuals from the digital and also the printing visuals of the Vietcetera. Marketing team will in charge for the brand excellence, and also they will the one who improve and maintain the performance role metric on the social media. HR admin and finance team will in charge for all of the internal operations from the recruitment training, finance, accounting, and office. Finals is the revenues and the new vertical team who will be in charge for the sales, business development, and also for the project management at the company. So when we talk about the project management, we also include the show's product, podcast product, and also editorial and event products. Next slide, please. Okay, so when we talk about the people at Vietcetera, so I think that all of you must be the Gen Z generation. So at Vietcetera, we share the same people, same generation. Mostly we are from the millennial and from the Gen Z generation. So that's why if we have to describe about our people, so here is the 6 keywords that we talk about us. The first one is useful and open-minded. We are encouraged to propose the new idea or the new initiative to improve our work or our performance. The second is collaborative, because in Vietcetera, you don't just work in your team, you also work with other stakeholders in the companies and also with the client or with the partners, the vendors. So collaborative is the second keyword that we describe about our people. The third one is creative. So because Vietcetera is a creative company, So creative is not just about the content. We also encourage in every daily operation at Vietcetera and also with the back office team. Transparent. So here we view a flat organizations that you can easily to reach out to the BOD or the head of department or to other team. So we can freely to speak out to like to produce any ideas or to provide the solutions for any problem. And one of the things is that 90% of our people that come to Vietcetera because they really like and they feel engaged with our mission and also with our product. So that's why we always put our best efforts in work. And finally, Vietcetera is proudly to be a great diverse background from different fields and also from different nationalities. So that's why we always respect each other's in our fields and also in our opinion. Okay, so next slide, please. So here is our benefits. At Vietcetera, the first thing that we offer is the ownership, because here you can act like an owner of your projects. So the second is flexibility, because we value the flexibilities of those who have the different schedule preference. So that's why you can start work at any time, not just later than 10 a.m. So the third one is engagement, because we have many activities to provide a family-like atmosphere as our companies, like team bonding, catering, lunch, food day, happy hour, and also we sometimes we have the internal sharing and the team bonding. The fourth one is that development. We always encourage that when you step in the Vietcetera company, so it's not just the development of the companies, it's also the development in your career. So here we always encourage you guys to develop days by days in your career and also in your self-learning. Okay, so next slide. So here is some of the job opening that we are hiring. You can scan the QR code to go to our career site for the reference. But some of the key positions that we are open, like designer, editorial, marketing, and also the productions. Okay, so that's my session. So I will pass to chị Minh for the experience sharing at Vietcetera, and also she will in charge of the Q&A. Chị Vi, can you move to the next slide? Okay.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I did have chance to say hello at the beginning, and thank you, my colleague Jane and Chitang, to share some of very key contents at Vietcetera. And I'm sure if you know of Vietcetera, you might have read a few articles, listened to a few podcasts, and hopefully you already have a kind of certain feeling how to work with Vietcetera. And thank you for 70 people in this meeting. I would love to answer some of the question. Actually, it's a previous slide. Can you go back there? And if you have more questions than what we already prepared, just feel free to ask. So one of the questions I got asked this morning is, what are the key characters that we would look for in an employee? So I would like to hang on. I'll have my daughter try to jump in the meeting. Give me a moment. Mẹ đang họp một tí, đợi mẹ một xíu. Ok, đợi mẹ đi vào trong kia, đợi mẹ tí nhé. So basically it's what the key characters everyone looking for. I feel like it's it's same to every company. We always looking for someone you seem like best at your job, right? It doesn't matter what's your skill, but you seem like try to reach the best version that you could reach at your skill. I think the second very important that we're looking for is people with can-do attitude. um, when you got throw something in front, like let's say some problem, most people see problems and complain. We're looking for someone can look at it and say that, oh, I can do it. And one of the quote that I would like to say here is, um, when you're young, when you're new, you have to learn to always say yes. I don't know if this advice apply to everyone, but if you're young and you're full of energy and you're so new and you still find the way to say no, then it's not a good thing for us. As a company, we looking for people always to say yes. But then later, when you're more experienced and then when you're more senior, then you have to learn to say no, right? So it's just either yes or no. But when you're so new and so you still try and ready to learn, just say yes to anything. It feels a little bit strange when I just talking to myself here, but moving on to the next questions. How I describe the working environment at Vietcetera. Um, I I think there's a one question that when you walk into Vietcetera, you will ask, so who is actually the boss here? Like everyone seems like the boss. Like if you attend an editorial meeting, you will see everyone pitching the idea and wanting to raise their hand to say things. And then you would not know like who's actually a managing editor here, who's the chief content officer. You would not know, right? If you're working at tech, you will see everyone just working. And who's the boss here? Because there's no one pointing fingers. Even between bosses, we have the management meeting. We don't even know. Well, of course, we know who's a founder, who's a CEO, who's a VP of revenues, and etc. But most of the time, everyone raised their voice and respect each other. I believe that Jane shared quite well as well. But yeah, how I describe working environment, etc. Who is the boss? Everyone can be the boss. Um, and then the third question I got asked is how would I describe our workflow and office culture? I will focus on workflow. Very simple. First, got an idea, right? You have to you have to talk to yourself, whatever, process yourself, thinking when you taking showers or brushing teeth, whatever. But you need to have an idea. Go to Vietcetera. Doesn't matter what's your role. You have an idea in your mind, right? A second step is you have to sell that idea. I'm not talking about selling that idea to client. I'm talking about selling it to your colleague, to your team, and then selling it to the rest of the company. And then there's a certain department would sell it to clients, right? So, but the very second important step is you have to know how to sell your idea. And then we will have the official kickoff meeting, which is everyone have to be on board. For example, Cascam, before it's become Cascam, before we even know the name Cascam, it have a different working title. But what I know for sure is the whole company on board in that kickoff meeting. Everyone need to know that we're going to do the Cascam, and everyone kind of need to learn how to license and read our own content. As a team, as a company, if you don't like your own product, how can you convince people out from outside like our product? So the third one is a kickoff meeting. And then we will come up with an execution plan. We execute it, we launch it, like any other product. But at the end, we always debrief the idea, lesson learned from it, and then if how we gonna do it better next time. So I say the workflow for a project, for an idea, but I believe it's our office culture as well. You cannot just do something halfway. You have to go from very beginning, from the idea to the end to debrief whatever that you've done with your team for so long. So I would like to raise that as the culture in us, that we go the whole ecosystem. The fourth question, I want to be an editor. Which position should I start first to have experience? For an editor or any role, I think we start become an intern. An intern, I feel like most of people kind of underestimate an intern position. An intern got to learn so many stuff, and it's a starting point of any senior role later. I call myself an intern in podcast industry more than a year ago. I didn't know anything. Even I have experience working a lot, like 19 years in media, but I was an intern with podcast. So don't ask too much about like, oh, I should be this. I graduate from this top school. I should be at some certain level. But no, I would say when you start a job at Vietcetera, everyone get encouraged to be an intern first. Know what you like first. Know how to flow around your team, and then after 3 months, you got approached to you got upgrade to become kind of either part-time or probation. I believe that Jane will answer this question better. But yeah, start at very starting point, an intern. So the fifth question: how do the contextual factors like the COVID, the lockdown that we've been through, impact our recruitment criteria? I would say none, because media, ourselves, have to find a way to survive in any circumstance. You will see that if print doesn't work, that's how digital appear, right? And then in this lockdown, we didn't stop to publishing content. We didn't stop doing podcasts. We didn't stop anything. We have to find out a way to work together. I believe that it's the story of everybody's life for the last 4 months. But yeah, I didn't think, most of the time people would say like, oh, maybe the salary rate need to be lower. But for us, we raise fund, we confident what we're doing. So that's why COVID, of course, affect some part of the revenue plan, but did not affect how we hire people. So yeah, I would say none. So I did my job. I hopefully Jane can move on with
Yes.
another
Yeah.
Q&A. Yeah.
Before move to my session, do you guys have any question else for Chitling?
Hello. Yeah. So I received many questions from the student in the chat box. So yeah, I will read out loud and then chị Thùy Minh can answer. Yeah. All right. Let's start with the question from Hanoi student. So if possible, would you mind sharing with me your career path or journey in Vietcetera or any unforgettable memories in Vietcetera? I'm really inspired by Vietcetera and would like to relocate to Saigon for my future career. Thank you so lot. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow, I appreciate your 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 aiming. My it's very personal, but I share quite few times with my colleagues at Vietcetera.
Yeah.
So first time I approached Vietcetera, I was already be a boss at another corporation, but
Yeah.
then I see Vietcetera on the market, right? And this is exactly what I'm looking for in let's say a brand to be a part of. And then at that time, Vietcetera, I have only 6 employees, right? And I came to the founders and say, I would like to work with Vietcetera, and they look at me like why, right? And then they explained later that they didn't know what to do with me, or they didn't think that they could afford me, and as blah blah blah. But anyway, they were very quiet. I approached again 6 months after, they still quiet, right? And then actually last year, because of COVID, my family actually talking about relocating. We plan to relocate in different country, but because of the COVID, we could not go. And I was at home, right? And I was thinking, is there anything left in Vietnam I would like to do and I haven't done yet? And I say, Vietcetera. These people like refused me 2 times, turned me down 2 times. So I would try again. So I ping the CEO. I would say, okay, one last time. And then I ping Hao, and then how like surprisingly Hao's like, oh, let's meet because we just raise fund. Maybe now we can afford you, and then blah blah blah. So that's how I end up with Vietcetera. I enjoy every moment here. So far, a year, 3 months, and I believe that working culture have how to say it, like, let's say you're finding a boyfriend or girlfriend, you find a partner in life. Not everyone, there'll be many or few more people meet your criteria, but there will be one person who's really matched with you. So I engage you to find that working culture as a partner, like you belong to that environment. And of course it's have to match with your criteria at the moment, like how you're looking for. But for for the record, a lot of young people working at Vietcetera, and I believe that's one of a good place. So if you want to relocate, make sure you pass our recruitment. And then then we can talk. But I enjoy every moment here.
Thank you, Jimin. So let's move to the next question. So I got one question regarding the working culture as well. Can I ask about the working culture at Vietcetera and the top criteria in the recruitment process? Vietcetera will refer the candidate personality or experience more, especially for the graduate fresher.
I think this one Jane can answer. Yeah, I think we can move to Jane to, and I'll be here if you need to ask me. I can answer that later. But Jane, maybe you take over this question.
Okay, so when we talk about the Vietcetera cultures, so I think that our cultures is like the first thing that because we work at the service industry, so that's why we always put our customers at the top priorities. And as our founder always said that we're not just doing it for the good or maybe for the top, but we only want to keep the product and also our performance better and better every day. So we only try to learn new things and to try new things and improve ourselves every day. And the third one is that everyone will act like an owner for our project. So that is our cultures. And for the top priorities in the recruitment process, so because I received many questions about our criteria, do we prefer for the GPAs or the personalities or like experience or something? So
That's a common question.
yeah, so at Vietcetera, we focus on like treating the first is like the attitude, because if you have the passion or you have the attitude to try what to do, so you can do everything. So you can do everything. So the first thing is like the attitude, and the second thing is like the knowledge and the skill. We don't mention about the experience because here we don't focus on the year of experience. We just focus on the merit. So how can you perform your work at the best, or maybe how you can like do it at the most beautiful way. Because at Vietcetera we are creative company, so that's why we must focus on the skill, not just the experience. So if you want to apply to Vietcetera, I recommend that you should like highlight your skill and how you can do the job. So there are this is the two things that I think that you should highlight.
Yeah, thank you so much for your answer detail. So the next question, I think that's for Jen as well. The question coming from K. Is there any chance of the internship for the second year design students?
Okay. So I remember that the team from Chí Minh have one student from the high school. So he's in the editorial team. So here we always open for any kind of student. As long as you can perform the work well, so it's okay with us.
Yeah.
We have a lot of like second year student here, or maybe the high schooler, or maybe the first year student. So it's not a problem with us.
Mhm. So I think your answer also answer the question from Hồng Quân. He
Okay.
asked, is there any chance for a logistic major to get in editorial internship? And he said that he has the portfolio. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what do you think about this, Jimin?
Yeah, so I think that's how we start. Soon next year, we will change that a little bit. We were looking for more senior people, just because we're getting stronger and we grow so fast. But at the moment, yes, we still open that door.
Mhm.
So you need to be quick.
Yeah. Thank you, Jimin.
Okay.
So the next question will be for you. The question from Anh Phạm. Hi, Miss Thùy Minh. How different is this working in Hanoi compared to Ho Chi Minh City?
Uh, I think here I can only share in my own personal experience. I moved from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh because I feel that here in Hanoi you have so many excuses to not work. Like the weather, it's like so nice today. We should go to coffee shop. The weather is not nice today. Let's just stay inside the blanket. Um, but in Saigon, actually, the mood swing don't happen that much. So every day is shiny.
The same.
So you kind of, for me, when I first moved here, when I was 22, then yeah, that's what, like, I feel like it's invisible force kind of always pull me out of the bed and then start. So I think that's the main difference. And then you will see that people here, it's so, how to say, work or oriented, that they in Hanoi, it's a lot of, the system is more complicated. People, you have to talk to your boss. Your boss have to talk to their bosses, like all that, right? Layer, it's the structure is very different here. Here it's like, because of the mixed culture, there's a lot of expat here, and we kind of, even in Vietcetera, we have like different nationalities, different people from different backgrounds. So, like Jane shared, we respect each other. So that's why we don't put layer on top of each other, and that I think is the main difference working in Ho Chi Minh City.
Yeah. Thank you, Jimin. So the next question from Khánh Nguyễn. I'm at a second year student in professional communication major and would love to have an internship in the editorial position. Do I have any chance? So I believe that Chen and Jimin already share the details. Do you want to add
Yeah,
in
you
anything?
always have
Yeah.
chance. You always have chance if you're good. I have to say, I don't want to everyone's to because we do this together. And then MIT is very our key partner in recruitment. But I have to say that the room is pretty full. We have some very good writer. And sometimes the job is not about just good writing skill. It's a lot of other thing as well. So yes, we still have some room left for you to get in. And I think it's too early to say, but we will soon kick off I call a show as a campaign. It's called the Internship. And I hopefully can it's just like Cascam. Everyone want to do a podcast, but how you start, right? So we want to launch a similar program, but for anyone want to get into not Vietcetera only, but all top company.
Yeah.
How you get in and what is your experience, how to guide you through the whole process of internship. So we hopefully launching that program soon that you can be, then you could have chance to work at Vietcetera, but also be on a show. So that's I right now I can only share that.
Yeah, thank you so much. So next question coming from Trang Nguyen. So I would like to give these questions for three of you here. So what is the main reason that holds you and keeps inspiring you to work for Vietcetera for years? So maybe let's start with chị Thanh.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question. That is very nice question. Actually, I also put the question in my life. I keep that question every step I move. Because I can share my background is from the PPP. It's very similar with the MAD that you guys are studying on, and then I moved to work for TV station, like top content you might watch, like người người ấy là ai or something like that. And then I worked for TikTok as a country leader for TikTok when they first start up established in Vietnam. And a lot of people put the question for me why I joined Vietcetera. Actually, is as Thùy share, I love that idea. I always be consider me as a starter for everything I don't know. So I start from fresh. So that's why I saw Vietcetera is very interesting to me in terms of like content, because content is the king and content is on the trend. Even with the big platform like social platform, YouTube, social like YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and even Instagram, is the core still content. So that's why I want to spend some years enough for me to dive into what kind of content is the I can go with. So I find it very interesting when Vietcetera is very like the idea I love most is start from scratch. Like we don't have anything in hand, but we build from scratch, that from zero to hero. So that is the concept that I love, and until now I still keep that in mind and keep my journey as well. Yeah, thanks, and may pass over to Tim Min and Jane.
Maybe chance.
Trên muốn trả lời trước hay chị trả lời trước? Anyway, bị mute.
Jen ơi, are you unmute?
So why I joined Vietcetera? So you can see that in nowadays we have a lot of media coming, and when you scroll the social media, you scroll the Facebook or Instagram, there are so many informations. But when I joined Vietcetera, I say that we not just media company. We not just deliver we not just deliver the news to the audience, to the young generation, but we also deliver the knowledge. We are doing the education. So when when I know Vietcetera, I say that these people are bringing the value to the community. So I think that's why I love to work at the Vietcetera, because I know that because I'm also the one who do that, to bring something to Vietnam and something to the community, especially for the young generations. So that's why.
you.
I think everyone already we talk a lot about Vietcetera today. So I gonna get one quote from chị Thái Vân Linh from Have a Sip podcast. She said something very simple, but I think it's applied for anyone who go even longer and longer in this career path. Even doesn't matter how many years you've been in your career. It's like in the morning when you wake up, do you feel happy going to work? Right? So it's I even for student or anyone do anything. If you wake up and you feel happy doing what you do, if you happy to go to school at a certain with a certain subject because you love it so much. So I think that ask yourself that question first thing when you wake up, like, do you happy doing this? So far, not not every day of my life been like that. But I can say that at Vietcetera, every day I wake up, I want to go to work. I feel painful staying at home, which is I am right now because I have to watch my kids at home. But yeah, I'm excited to see my colleagues, to talk to people, to think that today we're gonna publish some new piece of information out there in the world. We're gonna do a new podcast. We have this new idea we need to sell to our team. So all that get me, wake up in the morning and feel excited.
Yeah, thanks a lot for your valuable sharing. So let's move to the next one. From the question from Phương, are there any current internship position at Vietcetera right now? I'm a second year design study student hoping to apply for a position in editorial, international content, design or relative, if there are any openings position. Thank you.
Okay, I take this one. So currently we have a position, we have internship position in the international team for the content and also in the design team. So if you join the networking session this afternoon, you will see in person our narrators. So she can share a little bit about our design team.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hi everyone. So Vietcetera will join the networking session at 4 p.m. today at Gather Town. So if you have any further question, yeah, please come to join us. So let's move to the next one. The question from Anh Trần. I'm a second year design majoring in digital marketing and would love to apply for HR or marketing position. I wonder whether if these positions are available right now and does GPA matter in Vietcetera? Thank you so much.
Okay, so actually we have the social media interns position, but there are already have one who booked a slot, also from the MIT.
Yeah.
So I think that we might save the slots for next year. And for the HR, yeah, we also have some like position available in the talent acquisition and also for the administration interns. Also for next year. So if you want to join Recruitment, please follow us.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Jen. So let's move to the next one. From Uyên, the question from Uyên. Do you accept a first year student for internship program? I'm interested in the international edition intern specifically.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
At least as long as you have the taste and also the research and writing skill, so please submit to our career site with your portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Jen. So the next question I would like to ask chị Thanh and chị Thùy Minh as well. So the question comes from Trần Lương. What do you think about the role in an introvert in media industry? And have you ever worked with an introvert before? And what is the strength and weakness could you see from them? Thank you so much. Yeah. So maybe we start with chị Thanh.
I think Thuy may share more on content side later on, but in terms of, because I work for more about strategic media strategies and about like commercialization. So I think introvert is an advantage for this industry, I must say. That give you a insight and curiosity in everything you watch and see and like digest the content or even work with celebrity and KOL influencer. You must have like insights of like writing, curiosity enough in terms of showbiz and what is activity going on. So introvert is good, but later on when you growing up in your career, I think you might find a way to adjust yourself. Not about introvert or extrovert, definitely 100%, but you might mix it in different contexts, give you a like a mesh behavior to a particular case. I think that is my learning. Yeah. So
Thank
maybe
you, chị.
Min can share more. Yeah.
Yeah, in the content side, most of people are introvert. Most of our writer are introvert. But so we don't even think about if you extrovert or introvert, or when you move half. It doesn't matter at all, because you all need to do the thinking part. What I kind of encourage the team, doesn't matter if you, sometimes introvert tend to find, let's say you writing this article, it's so easy just to pick up the phone and call somebody and get their opinion and write. Introvert would find a longer and more complicated way by doing research and finding here and there, right? So I try to encourage people and my team finding shortcut. It's not because of which style is better. It's about which one save more time for you. Then then your article when published earlier, sooner, right? So yeah, we didn't even think about it. And they kind of, as a secret pride, they kind of, oh, we all introvert, like we special. So yes, I don't think it matter.
I like
Thank you.
to add a fun
Mhm.
fact about Vietcetera. 90% of our employees is introvert. So even our founders, they are introvert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So we move to the next one. I want to ask about the recruitment for video making crew. Does Vietcetera have their own crew? For example, like videographer, video editor, etc. So maybe Chen can answer this question.
Yes, we have a in-house production team. We have a full process, including the pre-production, production, and also the post-production. So in here we have the video producer, videographer, video editor, and even the motion graphic.
Chen. So let's move to the next one. So which account manager position do you have any slot for the first year student to take? As being heard, Vietcetera will prioritize senior students next year for moving quicker. Therefore, is it really hard for the first year student to take an internship in the company?
Chị Thanh, can you answer this question?
Yes, yes. Actually, my team is more about client-facing account team, and so that's why the interest is about senior account manager. But actually, is when I interview to choose the crew from my crew is more about I'm talking and understand more about that person travel type first. Even that is a first year student, but their mindset and experience is even beyond that. I will really appreciate, because that's more about your experience in life and experience versus the job. Your curiosity is bigger enough, and ambition for the job is more than that. So that is, don't worry your first year or like last year, but show your like diversity and difference from yourself.
Thank you, Chị Thanh. So yeah, I think I missed one question from you, so I will read it out. I'm the second year digital marketing student, but I have some experience in this field and I just want to learn more experience from the real job. I don't care much about salary. So how can I express my willingness to the HR manager? Most companies reject my CV even though they like me, they like my attitude. because they see me as like the second year and I don't have time for working. So maybe Chen can answer the question. Yeah.
Okay, so for the digital marketing, so because with this position, if you don't have the time for working, you can do the like you can gain more experience from the personal project or maybe from the like school activities or the freelance job. So to gain more the knowledge and also the skill. Because with the digital marketing position, usually it's not just the attitude is really important, but because for the digital, it's keep changing every day. So if you have like the knowledge and also you have the familiarity with the social media or maybe some tool relating to the digitals, it may be better for the hiring managers to see your potential. Okay.
Thank you so much. So yeah, let's move to the next one. Where do we apply for the internship positions? Perhaps a specific email to apply because I could not find the session for internship application on the website. So maybe Chen can clarify this question. Yeah.
Okay, so for the internship position, sometimes we have available position on our career site. But if you cannot find them, you can send your portfolio and the resume to our email, like career@vietcetera.com. So I will type it here. So if you like to try, just send your CV here. We will store your CV, and if we have the available position, we will contact you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let's move to the next one. I believe the question for chị Thùy Minh. In an episode of Have a Shift, I remember that Chị Thùy Minh said that there are a lot of people from Gen Z in your team. I want to ask, what's the most like and dislike thing when you work with many young talents like that?
I would say only the dislike. Because I believe when you ask this question, you already know what's your strength being a Gen Z. I think it's good that you're confident, but sometimes as a young person in life, like you're still so young. When I was young, I was very confident as well. Until later, I realized that, oh, I didn't know much back then, right? So most of people, what I did not like when member of my team come and pitch me a very serious, complex idea without doing any research. I'm talking about bigger sample of research. If you say that, oh, I research on the friend of my mom, then then it's not enough. So yeah, what I did not like is the conference sometimes make you think that you can do big topic, right? And then that it's nothing wrong about that. It's just the attitude make me I just don't believe in that. I believe in different kind of way to pitch content. You pitch something small. I always say, like, oh, if you want to eat a cake, have a small bite first, and then you can eat the big cake, right? But most of the Gen Z walk into the room and say, I'm bringing this big cake and I'm going to impress you. So yeah, so of course there's many things I like about Gen Z and young people, but that is the attitude of thinking I know big thing. I think that's what I don't like, because to be honest, even how brilliant you are, how bright you are, being young, that means you're just a beginner, because life is so much ahead, and don't be overconfident that you know big topic, because things can change so easy, especially in media. It's over next hour, something big might happen, something so big today, people forget tomorrow. So what you believe. It's just always the self-doubt is something that young people should have. Always ask, I believe in that. Is it right? Should I check more? Yeah. So that's what happened in the team. I always I enjoy actually to say like I told you so, like a mommy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So let's move to the next one. I think Chen will can answer the question. Um, is there any internship slot for the video production crew right now?
Uh, Actually, we have, but not this time
Mm,
because this time our cruise is quite like busy with the
mm,
some new of the podcast and the
mhm.
show, so they might not have the enough capability to train the intern at this time.
Yeah.
So maybe next time
Mhm.
would be best switch to us to open this slot.
Yeah. So keep following the Vietcetera career page. Yeah. So let's move to the next one. Which position are currently available at the content team?
Okay. So when we count content team, we have the editorial, we have the audio visuals creative, and also the international editorial. So we have some person in the editorial team for the seniors, and we have the videographer, motion graphic, video editor, and we also have the producer position.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's move to the next one. Are there any internship slot for UX UI designer position now? And what are the qualities, terms, and skill you are looking in a portfolio?
Yeah, for the UI UX designer, we also open for the internship. Usually, we focus on the UI, and so with the UI, we need someone to have the skill in the Figma, and also have the taste in design. Usually, our style is like minimalism. So if you have the same style, so just send the portfolio to us.
Thank you. So we received one question from Hanoi student. Should we send in our writing portfolio? It would be help to um, maybe to let you guys understand the stay and the skill.
Sure. Please attach your writing
Mm,
portfolio for us to review it better.
mhm. Yeah, thank you, Chen. Yeah. So I got one such a long question for chị Thùy Minh from Minh Nguyễn. So I will read out. At the beginning of my works, I would like to say that Smith Thùy Minh is such an inspirational person by my reckoning since I have watched numbers of your wonderful podcasts and shows. Thank you for take time joining with us today. For my question, I would like to ask Miss Thùy Minh, that's how did you feel while working with a lot of celebrities and internet people? And how can you deal with unexpected difficulties during your podcast? Once again, thanks you. And I would love to meet you in real life to just have a trip with you.
Oh, thank you a lot. Yes, actually, I was so excited for this
Mhm,
event because I thought I'm gonna be an offline event because I feel so much
mm,
better meeting people in real life than
mhm,
actually through screen. We've been
yeah,
doing this for so long already.
yeah,
But yeah, so how to deal with them? It takes years of practice. It's
mhm,
not easy at the beginning. And I'm not totally extrovert, which is I'm not like totally can be talking to anyone in the beginning. When I was little, I was more introvert. Like I talk too little, which is my what my teacher complained to my parents, right?
mm,
So it take years, but most of the time when you met like at the top, like the most famous people on earth, you
mm,
realize that they just like us, right? Everyone is the same. It's just the job or the fame or you will be surprised. Like when I think one of the most famous is like Katy Perry, right?
Mhm.
She's like normal person. She's like any girl next door, and she's very relaxed. So and then they have their own insecurity. So you just get yourself caring and curious enough, but not like whatever. Like most people walk on the street, get attention. They don't want any another. Believe or not, I never ask anyone, any star, even I'm a fan of them, I would never ask them to do a selfie because for me that's unprofessional. And for them, it's another selfie. Why you can keep it all. So you sometimes you do the selfie is to show to your friends like, oh yeah, I interviewed this one, right? So I only have photos with like whatever I do a press conference and then some photographer do that. It's not it's not something I ask for. And and um, and then I think I remember one time Kelly Clarkson's manager asked me, "Oh, why don't you take a selfie with her?" I'm like, "I know." So anyway, go back to your. It take a lot of years. It's not you cannot just walk out and if you meet some like big star, you of course you feel like I still do that, but inside I don't I don't show it anymore. And just take them as like respect them like any other human being. So that's how I deal with. And then during the work, sometimes I share that, oh, I watch you for so long, but I noticed this and that. And they respect you back because you notice things about them, but not just a fan, a follower, but to put in your work. So I use a lot of
Yeah.
that in the work. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I have a lot of stories to tell, but yeah, in real life.
Yeah, I think we still have the second part of the question. How can you deal with unexpected difficulties during your podcast as well?
Hmm. Actually, I did a podcast about that. You
Mm-hmm.
can search on Spotify 500 questions about doing podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything's smooth, right? But
Yes.
it's your choice
Mm-hmm.
to enjoy it or not. It's wrong to say that you only enjoy a good ride
Mm-hmm.
because you would not have 100% good ride in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like there's many different podcasts that it didn't go my way
Mm-hmm.
or it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that I spend that 1 hour being truly myself
Mm-hmm.
with someone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's all I can say. And you always can do better next time
Mm-hmm.
if this
Yes.
time
Yes.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's my attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the third one is very important as well is don't feel, even for someone very experienced like me,
Mm-hmm.
don't think that you got enough.
Mm-hmm.
Feel hesitate, feel a little bit nervous before
Mm-hmm.
you start,
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't feel nervous or afraid that things can be wrong, then you don't enjoy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So even now, every new conversation, every new podcast, before filming, I'm so like, I don't want to do this, like, should I do this? I'm not like 100% confident, but I think that's the most fun in doing podcast.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your valuable lessons. Yeah, so let's move to the last question from Tandang. What skills an internship in account manager need to have before applying for Vietcetera? I think Jen can answer the question, right?
Yeah, just
Mhm.
maybe I will pass to Chị Thanh.
Yes,
Chị Thanh
you
can
can
share
Yes,
something
share
yeah.
your
on this.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the question. That's a nice question to prepare before an account manager. I think being a account manager is you should prepare some skill set ready, like because we work with across brands, not just big FMCG brands, but also we work with C level and different kind of people. So be prepared in terms of communication. communication, smooth communication is an advantage for you to like get a impression, good impression from people. Be curious enough for everything you're receiving the info. Like when client give you a brief, and then you be curious on that and like put a right question and deep dive to understand more, and spend time to watch out, understand about advertiser brands. Because when we have a knowledge about the brand, we can ask a very like smart question, and people will get interest on what you are going on. Humble, I think humble is almost applying not just account manager, but also
Yes.
every jobs
Yes.
as a the first starter, and then you being learning every day. I think that's the key thing. Yeah.
Thank you so lot. So I think we nearly end of the session. Yeah, we are on time. So before we close the session, I would like to ask everyone to turn on your camera, and we can have the one photo with our lovely guest speaker today. Student, please open your camera. Hello Quyên, hello Mai, hello Quang, hello Trang, Thanh, hello Thanh, hello Trâm. So give heart to our loved guest speaker today, everyone. Yeah, I will wait for around 10 seconds, and then we can take picture. Hello Thanh. All right, everyone. So I will count 1, 2, 3, and then we'll take the screenshot. All right, 1, 2, 3, smile. Yeah. All right, thank you so lot for joining the session today. Thank you so much, chị Thùy Minh, chị Thanh, and Jen for joining with us today. And I hope that our students enjoy the session like I do today. Yeah, thank you so much, and see you next time. Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.